Hi there, stamping friends. How are you today? I hope that you're having a wonderful day and that your weather is as nice as what we have here in the Pacific Northwest. It is gorgeous. There's sunshine and no rain. There is, what can I say, warmth to the sunshine. And as I understand it, we are expecting to have um, a heat wave, which is unusual in May. Quite unusual, actually. I'm not sure about that. Possibly getting into the high 80s, which would set a record. So before that happens, and while I'm sitting here in the nice cool breeze, I thought that we would have some fun. Um, I have been playing with the in colors. So what's your favorite in color? I really thought boho blue would be my favorite in color. That's what I had decided. Oh, did I tell you who I am? I'm Nancy Reynolds, Stampin' with Nutsy. And you can find me here on Facebook or my blog, which I haven't been very good at keeping up. I'm sorry. Stampinwithnutsy.blogspot.com. That's what I need to improve, and that's what I'm going to start working on. But for now, this is the boho blue. This is wild wheat. And wild wheat, while it's not going to be my favorite color, there are times that I've used it that I have actually liked it. So that surprised me. The one that surprised me the most is I am now a fan of Pebbled Path. Now these are 3 of the 5 in colors. So what I want to do is set those aside over here, and we're going to make the other 2 together. But first, let me show you what I'm using. Timeless Arrangements is one of the stamps I got on my pre-order. My order since the catalog went live hasn't arrived yet. I believe tentatively it's scheduled for Monday. I'm so excited. From the Timeless Arrangements, I used You Make Me Smile. But I wanted to show you the wonderful dies in this set. And they're attached, some of them are attached to little bars. So when you cut them out, you could put it like this and glue it on, and then you'd have the pretty flowers borders, which I think is very cool. You've got some shapes for sentiments and other dies. Plus, you have lots and lots of sentiments and a few branches and leaves and things. So this is a really cool set. I haven't played with it as much as I'd like, but I did pull that sentiment out, You Make Me Smile. So here's the sentiment that I'm going to use. I didn't use any stamps from the Cheerful Daisies bundle, but I did use dies. And I wanted to show you, because it took me a little while to figure this out. If you have, say, a half sheet of paper, you can use colors, you can use white. I am using white today. I just dropped something on the floor. Not sure what. But here is one large die that's all one piece, and you can cut it apart. We are going to use it as the one full piece today. There are detail dies that go over the top of it to add texture and give you a perfect place to put Wink of Stella, because it's a flower. Flowers need to sparkle. I am sorry. That's just a rule. So if you did, this is the second layer. This is the third layer. There is a first layer. You can cut out and I didn't do that on this card. But, oh my goodness. My nails are not going to pick that up. You have large flowers that are just a little bit bigger that make a nice layer on so we'll call that layer 2. And I have done, or layer 1. I've done layer 1 in white, layer 2 in a color, and layer 3 in white. And I'm going to just grab a sample of one of those. Here it is. So you've got the bow. I did a color for the base, the layer 1, white for layer 2, and a color for layer 3, and put Wink of Stella on it because, again, it's a flower, and flowers should sparkle. So you can do a lot of fun things with it. So this is going to be, I have had more fun. So it's probably a good thing my other new supplies didn't come, because I would have just been stuck trying everything new and not really getting to use this one to the best advantage. It is not hard to layer them on top of each other. And I will show you that as we make the cards, because we are going to make 2 cards. Let's see, I'm trying to get these put back because I do not want to lose any of my little bits and pieces. So there we are. The other item I'm using is the scalloped contour dies, and I used the second largest, I believe. Let's get started and let's play. I have got, oh, I was also going to show you. Oh, hi Gladys, good to see you. Oh, you do need the daisy, sweet. It is amazing. I've got a lot of samples to show at the end too, so stick around. This is the 2023 to 2025 in color 6x6 paper. And it's got polka dots. I've got to tell you, I like polka dots. I really do. So it also has stripes, and there's some other things, but what we're going to do is make the Moody Mauve. So here's my Moody Mauve ribbon. These ribbons we've already used. We're also going to do copper clay together. So here's my 1-piece die. And here are the detailed layering pieces that go on it. I have a 4 by 5¼ inch inside. I have that same size, 4 by 5¼ and I ran it through the new embossing folder, which I don't know that I have handy. It's the, here it is. I do have it. It was in the wrong spot. It is the Countryside Blossoms embossing folder. Really fun. Makes this lovely flower in the middle. And you have to look at the direction the leaves are going. That's important to me. It might not be important to you because it could just be vines coming down. But I like to do it with the leaves pointing up. I took a piece of the Designer Series paper and I cut it out with the scalloped rectangle. And let me just double check which one I used, because I wouldn't want to tell you wrong. I did use the second largest. I was correct. I'm glad I remembered that. And this goes together very simply. And that's why I figured we could make 2 together. It'll finish out my set, which is good. I am going to use my seal and just put it on. You see? You can see the red in my seal coming up. That is used up. So I'm going to throw that away. Set it aside because I noticed that was happening, which is like a first for me. I usually just run out and I have another one right here handy. So we'll put this on. This also goes flat on our card base, and our card base is the Moody Mauve color again. It is 4¼ by 11, scored at 5½. And if you're watching on replay and you need metric, it's 10.5 by 27.5. There we are. I like the color on color because I am featuring the color. But I really do like this. I think we're going to do the inside because, as you might remember, I really, really, really am better if I don't have a lot of bits and pieces around. And so I just have 2 strips, and I used the stripes for this one. It is 1/2 inch by 5 1/4 inches. No, it's 1/2 inch by, it's going to be 5 1/4 inches. And I'm just going to put those on the side. Just taking a look. Guess they're going, I was thinking it might be nice if they went the same direction, but that's not going to happen because I wasn't paying attention when I cut it. So Gladys, what's the weather like in your area? Is it hot? Okay. Put a little seal on the inside and put it in, and then we're going to just do the envelope, because if you've got a pretty outside and a pretty inside, you need a pretty envelope. Yes? Yes. Let me just get my silicone mat, because glue and adhesives, even hot glue, don't stick to it. So it's great. And it cleans up easily. You just kind of rub it off. I don't know, did you ever as a kid in school with the Elmer's glue get it on your hands and then just peel it off? Well, that's kind of the same thing you can do with this, is it rubs off nicely. The one thing you do want to make sure is that you want to make sure your DSP, is their designer series paper, is well attached, because you don't want to mess up the post office machines. They will not be happy with you if that happens. So you're in the high 70s. That is, we're just reaching 70s right now. So we've had mostly 50-degree weather up until this week. Last week was rainy and cold. Yes, and just really not very nice. And then all of a sudden, we're now going to get up to maybe 88. Very strange. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. I want to cut that off. So let's see if I can do this without making a big mess. And I'm just going to put this little part that I trimmed off the flap onto the front of my card. And then we're going to go to the fun part, is putting together the daisies. Okay. And we'll also have to do our sentiment, but let's do the daisies. So here is our main piece. Oh, maybe I'll leave this because I'm going to do some gluing. I see one thing seems to be missing, the one for the little guy. I don't know if, it would be really smart if one used one's adhesive sheet before cutting out the daisies, the details, but I did not, so we're going to use glue. There is one section right here that has 3 leaves together, and if you look at the daisy, you'll also see there's that 3-leaf combination. And I need to turn this just a little bit. That's what makes this one easy to line up, is you get those 3 leaves together and you've got it. I have a little more trouble with the larger one. Oh, that's way too much. Let me grab a piece of leftover cardstock. So Gladys, it sounds like your temps are about normal, about the same as ours. In the 60s usually, with a little 70 here and there. 80 in May just does not seem right. Because there's a lot of times that we don't get to 80 in the summer. This one has this little special leaf. It's a little wider and shorter. And here it is on petal, I guess it is, not a leaf. And so that makes that fairly easy to do. And so I'm wondering where my other die cut is. It is in here. Here it is. So I think I will just, I really should be dotting this on instead of, but I will say in my defense, this is a brand new bottle of glue. And I don't know if you've had that, but for me, the glue comes out in chunk or thicker when it's a brand new bottle and when it's an almost gone bottle. So I'm looking forward to having it just be its normal self. And then Wink of Stella on the detail die. One reason I didn't do the first layer and maybe do one of these in a color is that I didn't really know how to do that. I just learned that little trick. Okay, so here we are. I did use dimensionals, and that's one reason my dimensionals are so cut up at the moment, is I needed some small, thin pieces. And so I started working on the edge here and just trimming little pieces. There are some spots that'll take the mini dimensional. But I did need those, and I'm going to grab my take your pick tool so I can get those off. Let's take and start with the larger ones on the larger flower. And I was thinking that with the daisies, and color-wise, because there are Gerber daisies come in all kinds of colors, that it might be, nope, we're going to go with the narrow little ones. Anyway, I thought it would be really great for the Gerber daisies to be different colors. But for when I started doing these, I really just wanted to highlight all of the in colors. I am looking forward, though, to getting some new product on Monday, some more. I don't know, have you seen the timeless arrangements? Not timeless arrangements, the earthenware. I thought that looked really cool. So this was tedious, getting all these little pieces out and put somewhere. But so worth it. Again, if one is thinking ahead, one might use the adhesive foam and put it on and cut it off, because it's a two-sided foam, which would make this whole process less tedious and maybe even a little more fun. Let's do one more on here. We'll put this over here. And it's not that I don't have those things in my stash. It's that I don't think about them. Let me get this one off. And then another set that I was really interested in is the seasonal branches. And I could have done that on the pre-order, but did not. Okay, there we are. I'm doing a really easy, to me this, now didn't I just have, I did, there it is. To me this, as you can see on my knot here, it's just a little bit thicker and I don't think it ties in a bow as well as it could. So I decided just to grab my ribbon scissors wherever they might be. Unfortunately, they're not where I am. And put a little bit of tear and tape on it. I just did a little diagonal cut. Anyway, I thought that I would just do this and put it down flat, burnish it on, then peel off the adhesive. It's one thing about tear and tape, it really is a strong adhesive, and I do not like my ribbons to come up. Although I would like it to come off. Don't remember it being that difficult when I was doing the others. Here we are. And this ribbon will fray, which is great if that's what you want it to do, not so great if that's not your intention. And I am not a super frayed person. Okay, got that down. Do you have a zillion and a half little strips? I have a zillion and a half little strips of basic white. Let's get some of those off. And so this is a very small stamp. It's exactly what I wanted. Grab my Moody Mauve ink. And although this is a photopolymer and needs a little cush under it, I have found that with the smaller stamps, sometimes I don't need to add my Stampin' Pierce mat under it. That they do a pretty good job. So I'm just going to cut off the ends, close that up, and I just wanted to flag the ends. So I want them to be about the same size. Just going to make a snip in the middle, and a snip from each corner to the middle, to that. And sometimes it takes a little extra snipping. That's one thing about our snips. They do snip to the end. And this one, I'll do the same with. So I've gotten glue on my snips, and now I've got ribbon on my snips. And I thought that I would, since I'm using tear and tape, I'll do another piece on my sentiment. Just to get it in place. So I was going to make the copper clay, which is actually turning out to be one of my favorite colors. And I will show you some things done with copper clay. But I'd really like to show you all the samples that I've been making. Gladys, that's just to make you want to buy the set even more. I've got one more thing to put on, and we can call this card finished. I have the 2023 to 2025 in color dots. And so here's Moody Moth. Well, stuck down really well. So let's take 3 little dots. Ooh, there we are. And there's our card. Pretty on the outside, the inside's decorated, and we have the envelope decorated. So there's 4 of our 5 colors. But I do want to show you the samples, and I don't want to run out of time. So you've seen this one. I love the sentiment, "Your friendship means everything," in the catalog, or in the stamps of Cheerful Daisies. It's the 3-layer. Oh, thank you. Yes, I am a temptress. I'm also an enabler. I'm sorry. This is the Stitched with Whimsy die, which I thought was kind of fun. I just stamped a couple daisies. It's really easy to line them up. They're photopolymer. And I stamped on my envelope. So there's one. I was having fun with the designer series paper, and so I cut a piece 4 by 5 1/4, and then I cut it in half. I did 2 of them, and so I've got 2 different cards. This one I cut I guess on both of them, I cut the daisies apart on that larger die. I used Granny Apple Green to color the leaves. This one has a sentiment Oops-a-Daisy, and it's just pretty plain on the inside. This one, though, is a diagonal easel fold. Didn't that turn out cute? And this was my first play with Lemon Lolly. And that's what I used, a Lemon Lolly and a stamped off copper clay for the center. And I just used one of my blends, I think the dark Lemon Lolly, for the centers of the flowers. And just a little flower peeking underneath the sentiment, which also has some Lemon Lolly on it. Oh, thank you. Okay, here we go. There are those 2. Back to Boho Blue. And I frayed this ribbon on purpose. I just tied a knot and frayed the ends, and it was kind of fun. I used the dies and stamp sets for my daisies. And just a little fun fold. And I thought this little flower sitting over here on the blue was fun. See? And I decided to cover that too. I love when we have designer series paper that is a picture and that can just be the whole focus of the card. And so there's 1 sheet, well, 2 sheets in the designer series paper like that. And I used this is copper clay matte, the designer series paper, and I used my oval punches, the double oval punches for the blue and for the backing. And just a strip of paper on the inside. Now, that's not all. We're putting on an event for the Pacific Northwest demonstrators, and I've been making samples for that event. This is a take on my card with the back of the designer series paper we wanted to use the entire suite and not go out to other things. So this is how it turned out with the back of one of the designer series papers. You've seen this one. This one is cute. It's got a combination of stamps and die cuts and the designer series paper. Oh, this one I have to pull out. This is a bridge fold card designed by Shirley Bailey. There. So you can see the top. And this one is, whereas the one I did, the Oopsie Daisy card, the other one was boho blue, white, and boho blue. This one is white, boho blue, and white, which I thought was fun. And last but not least, I needed to show, oh, second last. This is actually the one we're featuring and we're going to have people make because there was so much of the blue that we needed a different color. So this is the copper clay. And now you can see why I really like it. It is a beautiful color. And we also did comp books. Just put some designer series paper on it. I put a couple of cutouts on mine using layers 1 and 3. I skipped the middle one, the big one. And then the alphabet dies to do Pacific Northwest, Washington, June 2023. So this is our first event. It's a brand new group. So yes, I have been busy and having a wonderful time with this set. I feel like this time I'm really getting a good use of it. If you're going to spend money for a suite, you really need to make sure you get it all used up. So I am going to say thank you for joining me. I've just finished a live in the private group for customers in my downline, which was very fun. It went pretty well. I did not use this set. I did something different. Is it around? It is. Let me show you. There was a pinwheel card in a book fold. But I watched Karen Titus. I was inspired by Karen Titus to do this one. And that one was fun. So thank you for joining me. I will see you again soon, I hope. Happy stamping!